Alright folks, we have another exciting episode today. Welcome to RV Shop and Chef. And what we're doing here is we're going to replace these latches. You can see here that plunger looks like it's good. This one is broken off. And so this door is hanging by one latch. What often happens is these latches will break off, or they'll even be stuck. The cable that connects to them inside the door will disconnect, and then the plunger simply won't be retracted at all. You'll try to open the door, no luck. So in this case we have the former, which is where the plunger broke off, and so that missing plunger means the door is half latched. And so for me, I want to get in there and fix that plunger. Now I have a couple of different kinds of door latches. I wanted to show you the difference between what Fleetwood does on this coach and what they might do on other coaches. And a quick look at a Fleetwood latch. And this is a American coach product, so owned by Rev Group, Fleetwood label underneath that. This is a 3-inch latch, I think, and here you have a 4-inch latch. So I want you to see the difference between these two. That's a longer latch assembly there. It still has a plunger. You can see the plunger is a black spring-loaded, and it has this handle right here is what draws it in and out. That's pulled by a cable, and the cable goes to the latch on the front door. You have the same thing here, but notice that there's some differences. This particular latch is the 3-inch latch, and it has a longer assembly on the end of it. And so same sort of thing, spring fed. It's a little freer moving. This one's very stiff. But take a look at this door. And what you can see on this door is that you've got one of each. And then what we'll do is remove all of the screws here on this cover. The mission will be to remove the cover, then disassemble the handle, and we're going to reconnect the cable to the new latch after we pull out and install the new latch. Often you find these latches don't quite fit. So I've done at least one other, and I'll tell you that you may have to take a file and go to work on the edge. Dremel tool would be great. As these have been maintained over time, you'll find people recentering them as they go up. So remember, when you take that cover off, index it so you know which way was up and down, left, right. And so now the next question. As you look at this assembly, this cable right down here is what triggers that latch there. And so it's connected to the latch. And what we're going to do is we're going to disconnect that cable by taking these housing screws off. And once those are off, we're able to release that cable from the connector inside the handle. There's the first one out. These impact wrenches, I love them. They break things loose quickly. Alright. Now we're down to where we can see the cable. This particular cable goes through here. And if you take a look at where that cable feeds through its little nib, that cable pulls that plunger. The connector is right here on the end. What I'll do is I'll tie a little rope on the end of this so that I don't lose it back into the wall. And then I'll pull out the pin. This normally has a cotter pin on the inside of it, but if you look closely back here, this is where your cable is connected through an Allen wrench retainer. And on the back side of this, it goes through this housing. On the back side here is a cotter pin. That cotter pin's gone, and now we see a piece of copper wire in there. So we'll just take that copper wire and bring it out, and then I'll go ahead and pull this cotter pin or retainer for this cable out. That'll give it, let it go loose. Feed it over this little pin. We'll hook a little cable to it to make sure we don't lose it, and then that'll give us enough room when we pull these screws out to bring out the assembly, and we'll replace this one in with the one that was there. Got it? Alright, we lost our little pin and retainer on the door piece. I've got my assembly kind of built up like I expected. While I have this apart, I'm going to remove that Allen nut that's very, very fine. I brought a very small assortment, an assortment of very fine Allen wrenches, and my mission here is to back that Allen head out. All right, back to modifying the hole. When in doubt, get a bigger hammer. Alright, that's in. Now what we want is to bring that Allen wrench to where he's tight. Let's go ahead and bring our pulley back in. So the wire goes over the first pin, under the pulley, over the second pin. Alright. I believe that's where we want it to be. The nut goes on top of the pulley. I've got a nut driver here. Alright, now what I want to do with this retainer is bring this up to where it's tight. And what we don't want is a situation where the handle, when it's pulled in, won't bring that plunger all the way in. That looks about right there. Yeah, I've got it down hand tight. It's nowhere close. All right, once the cable is attached to the retainer pin and you've tightened that cable up to what you think will be enough to make sure that when the door handle is triggered that the plunger clears the wall hole, then you're ready to go. And the next challenge is buttoning up. So here I'm putting the electric locking mechanism and the retainer plate back on the door handle. Make sure the door handle is in smooth and snug, it's not hanging out. That looks pretty good. Again, square bits. Right, I like the way that trigger works. Right now you can see we have a 4-inch and a 3-inch latch. We went back with the 3. The 4 would go right in there, no problem. The 3 was fussier. That's probably why people are using the 4s now, is that they're a dead fit to go into the door space. This one you have to modify the hole. We did so just to make sure that it was a... I thought that the yellow plunger is a little more durable one than the... But let's see what we get now. Okay, that lower latch is catching. It's releasing well. The upper latch is catching. That upper latch is a little fussier, but I'd have to say that both latches are good. The screws that hold the plate on to cover the doorway are hand tight. I don't go too far with these in case that aluminum is not happy with the prior in and outs. Alright, I think we're in good shape now. I'm going to take a quick look at the door handle again. I like how that closes. It feels like it's getting both latches. I like the amount of travel on the latches. They're enough to make sure the door closes. That's also a slam latch, so it ought to be able to come and go. And now I've got both of those plungers catching, so that door is not going to come open or have a problem at some point. And now I've updated that latch. That's the second one of those I've done. But for now, I would say that that project is over. We're happy with the result. And so, as the chef would like to say, shuss.